Hello, I'm Dr. Craig Escude. Welcome to Medical Monday.
So we've recently talked about feeding tubes, and there are reasons to use those. One is a person can't intake adequate nutrition. Another reason is a person is aspirating, so eating orally is a significant risk to them and can cause significant problems. But the question is, once a person has a feeding tube, does it mean that they are bound to have a feeding tube for the rest of their lives? And we should not think that way. There are certain times where a person might need a feeding tube because they can't get adequate nutrition, or again, their aspiration risk is increased, but it might be because of temporary causes. Sometimes a person has a very prolonged illness. They're in the hospital for a long period of time, and they simply, aren't able to eat and drink during that period of time, but they can improve, they can get better, and they can be reevaluated to see if they still need that feeding tube, later after they are more alert, they're more awake, they're able to intake food and fluids. And it's very easy to get rid of a feeding tube. If any of you have worked with people that have feeding tubes and the tube accidentally gets pulled out, you know that hole starts to close very, very quickly. But it's something that we should always be thinking about. Can this person eat orally? So it's a good idea to have a repeated assessment by a person like a speech language pathologist, maybe a routine evaluation once a year, or if it's an acute situation where a person was given a tube because they were very ill and they couldn't eat for a hospitalization or something like that, that they be assessed maybe every few weeks to see if they're doing better and see if they don't have that risk and they're able to get oral intake. And there's no problem usually with having oral intake if it's safe, if it's determined safe, along with the tube to supplement it so that person can be transitioned over before that tube is actually pulled. But it is something that we should think about. We shouldn't sentence a person to always having a feeding tube for the rest of their life once one is put in. So remember that. Use specialized staff that we have, such as speech language pathologists, that can help work with the person to improve their oral abilities and swallowing abilities, and see if we can help a person move away from a feeding tube when it's possible. Again, this always should be done under the supervision of appropriately trained staff and under the direction and advice of a physician as well, but something that we should always think about.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Medical Mondays with Dr. Craig Escude. We got a ton more in the backlog, so if you want to check those out, we got a playlist on YouTube, or you can listen to it on our podcasting platforms. We just want to make a quick note that Friends for Life is currently hiring, so if you'd like to come work with us here at Friends for Life, head over to friendsforliferc.com, go to our employment page, fill out the form, and we'll get back with you soon. And we also have a new show airing now called Nursing in No Time, kind of as a compliment to these Medical Mondays. So if you'd like to check that out, also available on our YouTube channel. And as always, you guys can check out the Friends for Life podcast and our midweek minis. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.